Hey guys, it's Nexus here, about to do another interview with a gamer. Oh god, this is Unlucky 13. Oh god. But anyway, I'd like to welcome Baetacus. Thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Not a problem. Now we got this all set up. We're all good. We're gonna have a good time with this. Okay, so before we start getting into the questions about your channel and what you do, I'd like you to kind of discuss a little bit about yourself. Talk about yourself. You know, take what you want from it and let the viewers know.
I'm just pretty typical. I'm a nerd. I love everything that has to do with video games and also like books, shows and stuff like that. And I'm also a cosplayer, which I haven't showed off that a lot, but I plan to. But just overall a great like just a nerd that sits around and plays video games and loves animals.
Yeah, it is kind of the niche kind of thing that, especially lately, I've noticed with a lot of things, is it's becoming more popular to be a nerd. So, but like back in the 90s and stuff, it was like kind of the down thing. Being a sports jock and stuff was kind of the thing that everybody was. But nowadays, it's like everybody's a nerd cosplayer because it's cool, it's new, it's interesting, and it's a technological age. So we're all getting into the kind of thing where we have to be a nerd to get through life. So it's all good, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about your name, because that's the first thing I want to talk about. What's kind of the story behind it? And I think I pronounced it correctly the first time I said it.
You did.
I hope.
You did.
Okay, good.
And the story behind it is basically it was during the time when Bae was going around like crazy. And people were just constant, like my friends would call me Bae as a joke, and it was just a term of affection. But in Swedish, it also means poop.
Yep,
So,
I knew this.
So, people made jokes about them calling me a piece of poop. So I was like, well, if I gotta be a piece of poop, I want to be the greatest piece of poop. So like Spartacus, I became Baetacus. And that's how it happened.
Oh, that is a very interesting way of doing it. But yeah, no, just like when I first heard about the whole Bae thing, and I did look for the translation as being a piece of shit, and I'm just like, wow, that's really harmful to call you that. But I was like, I understand that it means different words mean different things, and but it was really smart of you to take that and go to Baetacus. That was that's really well done on that fact.
Why, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
I had to play up on the joke about it because like a lot of people didn't know it, and everyone was calling them their significant others and friends poop, technically. So I was like, well,
yeah, what can you do about it? Okay, so let's, like, since I'm right here on your channel, I'd like to ask about your banner, your channel banner right now. Did you do that yourself?
I did. I actually, because I'm not that good with artsy stuff, but I am learning to draw, and I found a app on my phone, and I just got, like, colors is my favorite thing, and like blending them, watercolors and stuff like that, and it was a watercolor app, and I just like as much color as I possibly can do, and I was just watching it blend, and then I just decided to put my name on it and use it as my banner because I thought it was like a really vast range of colors too. And I like the colors kind of reflects that, like I want my content to be different and as colorful. Like it's not just going to be a certain like first person shooters or anything like that. It's going to range like to RPGs, to visual novels, just and on many systems. I do it on different systems too, like PC, PS4, and I was originally, I don't know if you looked way back into my stuff, I used to be on Xbox.
Yeah, I'm trying to dabble more in Xbox, well, I'm more in PC stuff, especially lately. It's just my system's not the best, but I love to have a PS4 as well to kind of do stuff with that. But since right now I'm kind of limited to my laptop and Xbox stuff, so I completely understand where you're coming from with that. Because you want to differentiate your content, you want to do different things. That's why I try to mess it up every week by kind of going different things. Like I'm trying to finish a certain game, Dead Space, which I'm probably going to be recording after this. I'll be recording that, and then I'll be putting up a highlights of my pub stream that I did. That was fun. We were discussing this before. That poor guy running away from me for about 10 minutes. I'm probably gonna put it to like soundtrack like Benny Hill or something like that, just to make it easier on the eyes.
I laugh about it because I know that that would be me. I would be that poor guy. I would be the type that gets punched.
Oh yeah, I'll put an annotation to the video because it'll probably be released before this video is actually released. So I will put one there and annotation to it so you guys can see that. Oh god. But yes, but yeah, as you were saying about your content being diversifying with like the watercolors and stuff, that's good because you don't want to be a one-trick pony, pun intended, with it, because you want to spread yourself out, not super thin, but you want to spread yourself out so that people know that you're not just known for one thing, doing one thing consistently every week. They're like, okay, like what's coming next? If you can make viewers think what's coming next, you've achieved it, because basically then they're like, okay, I can see this, and if they don't like what they see that week, that's fine. They can come back next week and see the next thing, right? So yeah, that's exactly what you want to do, and that's good. Okay, moving on from your banner, I want to ask about your icon. Now, I'm guessing this is a newer icon?
It is. I recently changed that as well. Like the original icon, I had hand drawn, and like I said, I'm not that good. And it was drawn in crayon, kind of. So I recently I didn't draw this one. I went through because I wanted it to be more bright. And once I learned better, like on artistic skills, I'm probably going to start drawing more, or I'm going to commission somebody. Because I've talked to a few people and they seem interested. So I think I'm going to commission maybe to change my banner maybe one day, or I might just keep it because it's got all those, like I said, I love the watercolors. But I'm definitely going to probably commission someone for my icon if I don't learn. It's just basically an anime show my weebiness right now. It's like an anime creator where you can you get a base and then you add stuff and you change the background and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing. A lot of people, especially if they don't have that kind of artistic background, is that they do get people to commission to do stuff. Like, for example, for myself, I'm not that artistic. I can Photoshop the crap out of stuff, but I'm not that artistic on that. So I went and I found, you may heard of him, is Greg Zilla?
I have, actually.
Yes, I commissioned him. He actually made my icon that I use for Twitter and everything else.
That's really cool.
I know, and it was done within a couple hours, and he had that done and sent to me. Like I paid $25 USD on that, and let me tell you, I do not regret that $25 because it is a beautiful, beautiful icon, and I love to death. And
it does look really cool. I'm shocked it just took a couple hours.
I could not believe, because I gave him a photo that I wanted to draw from, and I told him I wanted to include my older icon, which I used to use for my channel and that, and he said, yeah, sure. And so he just put the lighting on it, which was amazing. So I was like, I thanked him so much for it. He did an awesome job on it, so I recommend him. And though he is very selective because in doing commissions, because he only has a certain time frame which he opens to do them. So watch out for that, because he does really good jobs when he opens them up. If you can get him to do it, because it is worth every penny.
Alrighty, I'll definitely keep that in mind.
Oh yes. Okay, so now that we kind of dabbled into finding about your banner and your icon and what is good, and you said you're going to be updating it and stuff like that, it's like, especially with smaller YouTubers, is they're trying to find their own face. So, kind of getting that kind of first ground thing that you kind of like, it's good. It's good to go. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to go through your playlists. Well, actually, wait, I think do you have playlists? I can't remember.
I do. Yeah. I do have playlists.
Oh, thank God. And, I immediately look over at liked videos, and what's the video I see? I see one of my own videos. There's an indication there. But yes, thank you very much for checking out those interviews, as we're doing one right now.
Yeah.
But hey, I know, I love doing those. They're absolutely beautiful. But okay, getting back to the task on hand after being distracted by my own video. That's great. Okay, so going through all of these, I think the first one I kind of want to talk about is probably going to talk about Undertale. So I want you to tell me a little bit about that series and the way you kind of played it, because I understand you streamed it, because you primarily stream. So kind of give a little bit of background on playing it and stuff like that for somebody who may not know.
Okay. Basically, Undertale is kind of like Earthbound, the playthrough. I don't know if you played Earthbound, but it's a very beautiful game. The music is amazing, and like the characters are probably it's probably one of my favorite games. It's like in the ranking. Like, I haven't finished it like for streaming wise, because like I played it on my PC originally, and then I went out and bought it for the PlayStation 4 with the collector's edition. But it's a beautiful game. It has a lot of choices, and it's the only game that like you don't have to kill people. Like, you don't have to go, and I don't know if this is kind of a spoiler, but if it's your first time playing, I don't recommend killing people right away, because it remembers.
It remembers. Hashtag it remembers. Right on the bottom of the screen right now.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
But yeah, it remembers, and it messes with your game as well. It's kind of fourth wall breaking too, which is pretty cool. I love games like that. Like, it hints that it knows there's a player and stuff.
So it kind of reminds you that it's like it knows it's going to learn your habit. So that's God. So that you can classify as kind of a horror game then, really.
It can be a little bit creepy when it comes down to it, and especially speaking of habits, it learns from you. So, like, right now I'm doing the pacifist round. I'm later gonna do the genocide. Like I said, I don't recommend doing genocide first. And as you go through it, it learns, like, it changes things, and it remembers when you die and stuff like that. So, wow,
that's that's just like, yeah, I remember you playing this before. Yeah, you died here. It's like, don't remind me.
God. It can be a little frustrating too, because like during the pacifist route, everyone wants to kill you, basically. So it makes you kind of want to kill them, but that's the point of the game. It's trying to get you to go down. There's 3 paths. You can do pacifist, neutral, or genocide.
Okay.
So it tries to push you to the easier route, which would be genocide, which is still hard. Genocide is still really hard, but it's easier for people to get frustrated and kill a character. You know, when you get mad, you're just like, fine, I give up. I'm just gonna slice you in 2.
Oh yeah, well see, that's the kind of things, you gotta have these kind of challenges that come through, especially with certain games, where you don't really think it's going to be that hard, and you get into it like, oh, this is actually more difficult than it seems. And see, a lot of games do that, and well, see, I find you're not gaming if you don't have a challenge to it thing. If it's too easy, then what are you doing it for? That's my kind of philosophy with it. Okay, well, that's good to know about that. I've seen a lot of stuff about this, but I have not actually gone in depth about it, and I figured I should probably ask you, since you have about 8 of these up. Doki Doki Literature Club. I've heard some horrible things, and I'd like to be explained why these things are so horrible, because I'm clueless in the dark right now.
Oh boy, it's a roller coaster. I'll tell you that. It's not what it seems. Like, it gives off the, oh, it's a dating simulator kind of deal, and it's bright, colorful, happy high school girls, and you go off kind of thinking in the beginning that, oh, it's another one of those typical, you know, where they're like, there's the ditzy girl, there's the quiet, mysterious one, and then the one that doesn't like the. It's not like I like you, baka, and stuff like that.
The typical, yeah.
Yeah, but it does a quick twist as you go through the game, and things start to get darker, and it's not as happy. Doki Doki is not okie dokie in the end.
Ooh, I'm have to put like a hashtag of that right when you say that. I have to edit that in. That is perfect. Oh, Doki Doki is not okie dokie. There you go. Okay.
I don't want to give too many spoilers away on that.
Oh yeah.
But it is a really fun game. That also has fourth wall breaking. Just thought I'd throw that out. Another game that I enjoy. And it also you have to check your files because it starts changing your computer as well. So
lovely.
Yeah, and it leaves messages on your computer and stuff like that. That's one thing I had to remember to flip through. Like I had to switch back and forth to remind myself that to show everybody when I was streaming it that these files were suddenly popping up and disappearing. And
ooh. Oh, jeez. Man, that makes someone really paranoid. Oh.
It does. And it does give a warning at the beginning that it's not for people with depression and anxiety and like lighthearted for stuff like this. So.
Wow. That's oh yeah. And then I look over in the recommended videos and it's like, I'm so glad that I'm not actually putting this in here because that would really spoil the story. Because one of the video, it's Gamers React comp, and Gamers Reactions to, I'm not going to say the character's name, but it's a reaction to something happening in the game. And it's a compilation of different YouTubers reacting to it. Yeah, that's... Man, YouTube, you spoil a lot of stuff. Jeez.
It really does, which is a bummer. Because, like, if you're watching somebody go through it or anything, or if you just write it anywhere, like if you're looking for animations, it's like, bam, spoiler, bam, spoiler.
Yeah, and it really doesn't help anything, so... But yes, I will put a annotation to the playlist of these right now, because then if you guys want to, after this, you can go and check that out, because I do recommend it, because it does look very, very interesting, and if you do, try to ignore the videos on the side, kind of just watch the video first, because let me tell you, spoilers are terrible, especially when you're trying to watch something, you're trying to enjoy something. Same kind of dealio when you're doing a series, like, I had recently picked up The Evil Within 2, which I'm going to be doing for the channel, because I played the original.
I can't wait to see.
Yeah, so I will be playing Evil Within 2 within the next month or so. A lot of my friends and other YouTubers have played it. I am not looking at any of those videos. I have to, because I want to go into this with no apprehensions, no spoilers, nothing. Because when I play it, I want to play it as genuine as possible. So...
That's what I had to do with Doki. Like, I had to, like, basically shut everything off so I didn't see spoilers.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's because, especially with Google and YouTube, is if you start watching things with certain things, recommended videos start popping up for other things, and you're like, why? But yeah, that's the kind of thing, and so I completely agree with you on that. And, and game theorists have something on the scariest monster hiding within Doki Doki. Okay.
Can't say I've seen that one yet. I've watched a few after playing the game.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of things. Well, that's good though. Okay, so yeah, I recommend Doki Doki. Check that out. A game that I really do want to play at some point, though, with my current PC, I can't. I want to ask you about it because I've seen people play it, but I want to hear from somebody else that hearing from it. Dead by Daylight. That game looks hella fun. I can't play it because when I run it on my PC, I get to 2 frames per second, and I cannot run away from the evil monsters and guys from that with 2 frames a second. It would basically be a slideshow of my immediate death. But I want to kind of ask about your thoughts on it, playing it, and different stuff like that.
It's a really fun game. Like, originally, when I first went through it, it was very anxiety-inducing. Because I started out on Friday the 13th, and I actually got pretty good at it, and was, like, cocky, I could say. That, like, because there's so many different ways to get out with Friday the 13th. But Dead by Daylight, you have 2 options. And 3 other players. So it becomes more you're forced into teamwork. And there's no communication unless you have a party chat. So not only are you running from the killer, but you are also... Sorry about that.
No worry. It's okay. I can edit that out.
Okay. But you're basically having to run from the killer and stay alive and creeping around, and the music is always blasting, and like it'll slowly creep up on you. Like there's Michael, there's Freddy, there's the Hag, the Doctor, and the Wraith. So you never know really. Oh, and recently just came out, I hate her because she's overpowered right now. But I have survived her twice. And it is Amanda, the pig, from Jigsaw. I don't know if you ever watched Jigsaw?
I have not watched... I've watched the other Saw movies, but I have not watched Jigsaw yet. That's okay.
She is very fast, and she's short, so you can't see her. And she lunges at you and puts a reverse bear trap on your head. And as time ticks down, your head's gonna come off, basically. But it's very interesting, and it adds the, like, I know people are gonna probably get mad because there's a debate between Friday and Dead by Daylight, but Friday, to me personally, is more a casual, have fun, goof around game. It's a lot of fun. Not slamming it, I love it. I've played it several times, but Dead by Daylight makes things so difficult. Like, that's where you actually have to, like, some of my streams I've done it, like, I've gone silent, and I didn't even realize because I was so busy focused trying to listen for the killer, because you can barely hear him walk up. Like, Michael, you won't even get a warning he's there. So, like, it takes huge concentration on that. But it's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of fun with friends, too. I've done a few with friends, and it's crazy when you get a group, because then you have to debate on if you're going to go save your friend, or... And then there's a secret little hatch, and the last video I did, I was Dwight, and he's a chicken, basically. He's the leader, but he's a scaredy cat.
Yeah.
And basically, I was the last person, and it was against Amanda. And there was one generator left, because with the more people you have, the more generators you have to get done to open the 2 doors.
Oh yeah.
Well, if everyone's dead and there's only 1 generator left, the killer usually camps it. So I was looking around and trying to find the hatch. And very luckily, because I was like, because as you move around, you can, like, the headset will let you know, like, as you turn, you can hear it to your right or your left, which is pretty cool. So it's kind of like, it brings the fact that you're not fully in there. It would be really cool as a virtual reality game.
Oh god.
But also very terrifying, the more I think about that, because as you're turning, you can hear, like, certain movements and stuff like that. It brings it to life, kind of, for you. But I found the latch and I escaped, and the killer wasn't happy, but I was.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. It's like, all right, I kill all these other people, and there's one left, and I'm camping, and there's no other way of getting out. And then suddenly you're just like, bye, bye,
Yeah.
Felicia, bye. Oh god, but no. I have seen a bunch of different people play it. Some of the higher up YouTubers like Markiplier, I've seen them play a little bit. And my good buddy Jump Force Drum, he's done a bunch of streams of it, and I've watched him play it. And I can tell you that at some points you need teamwork, otherwise you are screwed.
You really are. It gets bad. Like, and then you get to the point where like some of them try to cheat you. Like, you get bad teammates and stuff like that, so it really sucks. But it's really interesting, and it's sad when, like, if you're on the hook and you're about to die and your teammate comes to save you, but it takes you anyways. And it's like, I'm sorry, friend.
I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry. Well, there's nothing much you can do about it.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting for that. Yeah, but I think it's probably a game I'm going to get into more when I can. Like, if I know I can buy it for the Xbox, but I really don't know how you can play it on the Xbox right now. So, but I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna play it on the Xbox at some point. If I don't get a better PC at some point, which I'll just play it on there because I have it on there because it was cheap around like Halloween, so I bought it. So I was like, why not? Why not? I'll have it in my library. I'll be able to play it sometime. Yay!
When you do, you should hit me up and I can teach you the ways on how to survive.
Oh god, I'm just gonna be going like, Baetacus, help me! Help me. Okay. So now I'm just going back again, and I'm looking at another one of your series, Oxenfree. I recently got that like a couple months ago, and I have not opened it yet. What's that all about?
Oh, that is a beautiful game too. I loved it. It's basically a girl that ends up it's a group of friends. They go camping and they find a cave, and it's like you find mysteries. And at first, it's kind of like a tiny horror action kind of. It's a side scroller, and it's really pretty. And like the characters are super interesting. It's kind of choice based. Like there's many outcomes on how it'll end, and it's very easy to screw up on your ending. Well, I guess screwing up could be taken a different way. It can repeat itself. You won't get the true ending. But and there's several like characters that can suddenly go missing if you're not careful. And like several outcomes of like relationships, like friendships, like if they're dating, if they hate each other, stuff like that.
Lovely. So that's like a real mess with your mind kind of game, essentially.
It is. And it's like at first I didn't know what was going on. Like it doesn't straight out at first tell you what's going on. You don't know what's the strangeness that's going on. It's like, is it aliens? Is it ghosts? Is it? And it doesn't tell you right away. And it also kind of has little mini games, like it'll test your memory. So it's wise to go around and listen to the radio a lot, because otherwise unless you're streaming and you forget something, and when your people help you out, which happened for me. Like I knew some of it, and then they would because I really didn't want to get a very bad ending, and it's a time limit time. I was like, please help me.
Help, please help.
Yeah. I luckily had people watching, and they lended me a hand on, I think it was like the 4th test. Because I didn't remember. I remembered the rest, but I was like, I don't know. It was a game of Hangman, so.
Ah, okay. Alright, well that's, I've recently got it free through the Games of Gold. And I haven't actually loaded it up yet. That sounds really interesting. I probably should do that when I'm a little bit more adept and awake, because if I have to pay attention, oh boy, I have to pay attention. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, that's understandable though. Um, this one I know I'm gonna get a bunch out of. I want to talk about FNAF, or as everybody doesn't know, Friday. God, I can't even speak it right now. Five Nights at Freddy's. I know that there's a lot of people who played those games, but I want to hear your interpretation of these jump scare-a-thons. Oh boy.
Oh boy, they're very interesting. I've done the pizzeria simulator,
Okay.
and it is a lot of people throw hate at it, and I'm on the fence in a way. It's cool. I can't hate a game because I can't make a game, so I'm like, I cannot be like, it is the worst thing ever, because I mean, they put work into that, and it's pretty cool. They got it functioning, and it's got some cool characters when it comes down to it. It just, I feel like it's been overdone a little bit, but it's came to an end, and it's wrapped up, and it's actually came to an end with a very full story. I just wish they would stop jump scaring me. Because I don't get scared, but like if you throw something at me, I'm gonna jump every time.
Well, yeah, and I have to say, like, the amount of game, like, not just the little off things, but the Five Nights at Freddy's games themselves and fan games that have been made since the original game came out. There's numerous. There's tons and tons and tons, and I find that it's kind of a niche of gaming that has become a little bit too prevalent, and it's so easy to replicate. So, especially with that, where once you get used to the jump scares in a certain sense, you start losing that scare from it. You're like, oh no, not this again, and you kind of feel yourself going, like, okay, when's the next one going to be? Oh, here it is. Oh, expected it. Oh. And it really becomes kind of starts being an annoyance more than what's potentially supposed to be a jump scare. Kind of throwing it out there. Throwing a quote to myself. Dead Space. I'm not sure if you've ever played them.
I haven't.
Okay. I played through the first game. I'm currently playing the second one, which I said I'm going to be recording today. I used to get really, really skittish and scared when I was hearing stuff when things are jumping. It still does. It still scares me. But after a certain point where they're like 3 trying to jump scares in the last 5 minutes, I start swearing heavily at them because I'm like, you son of a bitch. But I find after a certain bit you get this kind of thing where you're like, oh Jesus, why are you doing this to me? Why? And it kind of takes away from the fun, but it all depends on the game medium and how often they do the jump scares. Because I know with Freddy games, there's a lot of them. Yeah. Yeah, you're like, I know.
Yeah. Well, I think about all the times that, like, I know it's coming, but I still jump. Like, I'll be like, oh god, he's in the room, and like, it'll be like, boom, and I still jump. Like, I know it's coming. I know that, like, and I know the game, like, I played the other games on my free time just by myself, and I know, like, the first game, when it first released, I thought that was the coolest thing, because, like, no one really did jump scares that much.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a really cool concept when it first came out. And like you said, it gets kind of where it becomes annoying after a while. But the simulator's a bit different, which I give credit for. Like, that's pretty cool too, because it gives you a kind of like a tycoon feeling at the beginning.
Okay.
And it's not just like, it's not the whole look around, check the cameras, look around, check the cameras. It still has that mechanic, but it's also like you have to be careful on like what you buy, or if you take stuff in, which, like, when I'm streaming it, I never want to take anything in. Like, everyone's like, they're like, check it, take it in, because you salvage for parts and stuff. And I'm like, nope, we're gonna have a friendly pizzeria. We don't need junk that probably has dead children in it.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it is like that's good that they actually did a little something different with that because it needs something fresh, needs something new. I did kind of enjoy what they did with I can't remember which one it was. It was one with the child in the bedroom.
That one was cool too. I never got to play that personally because at that point I was kind of burnt out at the time. But I did watch others play it, and I thought that was really cool. Like, and then like I really love the theories that comes from that game. Like, I like seeing the community come together and try to solve a mystery. That's why like Oxenfree is also another one that has kind of a mysterious aura around it. And I just love reading like fan theories and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, that's good because especially when it makes the community think, it's good because then they're like they can have their theories and kind of get into that kind of thing. Okay, so we're gonna do one more series. I'm gonna talk about some other stuff, just not kind of the last one. Not. How about Abzu? Yeah, we'll talk about that one. I've seen a different people play it. But I kind of want to hear your impression of it and going through it and playing it.
Okay, so I mentioned my top video games before.
Yeah.
But Abzu and Journey are my top 2 video games on favorite games. That game is beautiful and like it's not a game that just comes out and tells you the story. You learn it through the art, the music, stuff you find around as you're going through it. And I like when I first played Journey, it's in the desert, and I like the Sphinx and stuff like that. Like I just love learning stuff like that. But the ocean is like one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. Like there's so much in the ocean, so many creatures that we don't even know about, and it has like all kinds of fish, and like it brings it kind of like it goes off the fact that everything was killed off by people, and you're going back and restoring the light, and you're bringing everything back to life. And it's so pretty, and like you get to see like orca swimming around again, and it's just a overall good feeling. Even though it's not really happening, it's great to feel that you're actually bringing life back into like a game that was demolished basically. And the music is just top notch. Like and like it conveys all the emotion through art and the music. So, and you have little robot companions, and they're cute, and you learn about their gods. There's some god mentions in there, like these creatures and spirits and stuff like that.
It just kind of like it seems almost kind of like a parallel to Subnautica in the sense, because of the underwater theme, of course. But yeah, it just really kind of ties into that with me because, well, I absolutely adore Subnautica. I'm hoping that the full version of the game for Xbox will come out because we're still on the game preview of it. But it just fascinates me, the kind of world and immersion that comes from doing underwater games. So I think it's like that, and also I've drowned too many times in Subnautica to count. Because I forget, I'm like, wait, I need that much oxygen. And I get turned around and things, and I drown. Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it also leads to the kind of weakness, because like in the ocean, it's not like traveling on the ground. You have air right there, and you just have to worry about food and water. Yeah. But now you have to consider food, water, and air. More water. Thinking about the ocean.
Yeah, that's the thing, especially. And that's the kind of thing that some people play those games on where they don't have to worry about oxygen, but it really kind of adds the thing where especially in a panic situation where you're like, and you worry about oxygen, you worry about food. You're like, I don't even know if I'm going to make that over there. I'm not going to make it over there without food and that, and because then you die from starvation or thirst or oxygen. Like oxygen, yeah, it's a quick death. But the other thing, it's like you're struggling to get back home to get that food. And you're like, oh God, why? What was it? I think I did like an episode of Sononica a while ago, where I created a vending machine and it gives out chips. And I was low on my water, and I ate the bag of chips, and I was going to die from thirst. It's like, it's like I'm gonna die the way I live. Buy a bag of chips. And then I started losing health because I was that thirsty. I'm like, oh. It's like the salt content. Basically, I think of the words I said was like, the salt content is going to kill me.
You were very salty at that moment, weren't you?
Yes, especially with the chips. Yes, exactly. It was terrible. But no. Okay. So especially with that, that's really especially with that, I'm definitely going to be checking out those games. So I do see that a lot of your videos, since you do stream, have you ever attempted to do thumbnails, or do you find, especially with your stream, it's kind of a hindrance to what you're doing? Because I know that you stream from consoles and stuff too. Yeah,
with consoles and stuff, it's really hard to do thumbnails. And then I'm still kind of learning, so I need someone to show me the best way to do thumbnails. Because, like, I've had my channel for 3 years, but I didn't get it really rolling until, like, last year, probably, around that time. Like, I made attempts, and I would, like, upload, and, like, I was slowly growing, but then, like, everything would drop because I would go to school or I was working and I wasn't uploading daily. So people started to lose interest, and I would go, like, a month without uploading. So, but now, because I'm committing actually to it and trying to do a video every day, it's growing more, and I just need, as it's growing, I'm hoping I'll also learn. I'll grow with it, maybe. And, like, I'll learn how to do better thumbnails, and, like, I wish I knew how to do it on the console, too, because the console is kind of a pain.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that. It is kind of difficult, especially with doing thumbnails. Like, for streams, it's a little bit different because, like, especially it kind of auto captures a certain moment from the game and that. And so it's kind of hard to do with that. Typically, what I find that a lot of people do, especially if they do console ones, is if they know they're going to play a game ahead of time, what they do is they can go out and you can just search up an image of the game, and you can add, text to it saying, put your icon on it, put number 1, like it's gonna be stream or something like that. It's the main thing is to try to get your branding on it, so your icon, stuff like that. Even if it's just like a screenshot from the game itself, like even if you just somehow took a screen, like even watched after you're done, or like, yeah, you can also update them after you're done, but if you can get a screenshot from the game, it's best to do that, because then it's a moment in the video itself, and they're going to look for that moment. But if you're streaming it, it's a little bit hard. So if you can even go out there and find like a screenshot of the game being played, or just like a title image or something like that, and getting the logo in there, that's fine. Like, everybody has their own different way of doing it. And so it is a learning experience. So people do YouTube for years, since its inception, and they don't bother with thumbnails. They don't feel like or they just slowly learn to get it done. So it's perfectly fine, especially being a small YouTuber. Like, for example, with me, I kind of have a different weird process where you'll notice from the beginning of me doing videos is I used to just do Xbox clips, and then I started doing screen recording, and then I was doing thumbnails. And with thumbnails, I've kind of gotten into a certain niche where I know my style that I like doing with them. Because now I do a thing where I get a screenshot from the game, and I actually turn it into a pencil sketch. And then I put like the lettering, and now I'm putting the title of the game in it. So my style has evolved. So don't feel too bad about that, because you want to put your own individuality on it. So if it takes time, it takes time. Viewers will just watch your videos regardless, because a thumbnail's a thumbnail. But if you have
Yeah.
valid people come and watch your stuff, then they're going to come watch regardless. And if they become petty because of that, then why are you bothering? Because, you know, you're putting the effort out there to make that content, make it entertaining, and it's kind of disheartening, especially if it's just one small thing tips them off the scale of watching your stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I apologize for going on a tangent.
No, you're making good points, and like, it really does get like, I get worried about it a lot of times because I look at other YouTubers and then I compare, and I'm like, am I where I need to be at this exact moment? And are my viewers enjoying the content that I'm getting out there and stuff like that? Like, I just want, like, a lot of it I'm trying to self-improve, and like, this year is going to be a big year for me because I just got my gaming PC. It was a big thing that happened in December. So I got to have a face cam finally, like an actual decent face cam. And then I also got more games. I got a vast majority of games to go through. And like, I'm going to try to get better editing stuff, and because right now I'm just on OBS. Like, I just stream through OBS and everything else.
Okay, so you say that you use OBS. With using it to OBS, have you always used OBS, or have you used anything beforehand?
I haven't, because like, because I don't know, you know her, Rachel Persephonic. She basically led me. She kind of took me in on how to go about it on the computer, because I did everything on PlayStation and Xbox. So I was just using the stuff that came with your Xbox and your PlayStation to stream at first. And then Persephonics led me down the path of OBS for the computer.
Oh, okay. Because, see, personally, I do use OBS for when I'm streaming retro titles, because, as I said, with my PC being the way it is, I like it, and I'd love to be able to record more with it on the PC right now, but I find it's really tax heavy on the PC if you don't have a PC that is to a certain quality, quality with the graphics card and all that, because this thing's probably about 3 or 4 years old now, and it's dying. It's basically gasping for air.
Hashtag RIP. Rest
Yes.
in peace, your computer.
Yeah, like, kind of give you an example of how bad it is. I lost over 100 gigs of media from the hard. Yeah, 100 gigs of media that I recorded. That was gone, absolutely gone. I couldn't recover it. You see, that's why I put a lot of my stuff on a external now, which will also, this will be put on the external as well. But I find that when she crashes, I lose some data. Thankfully, it hasn't been that bad as 100 gigs, but when I lost 100 gigs, ooh, devastating. Yeah.
I imagine so. I would have been really, really sad.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of just try to make sure that when I do stuff, I put back up on that. So then when I edit it, it's fine, it's good. And that's kind of why I want to get a capture card, because then I can record better. I can then restore it, and I'd be like that. And especially when I want to stream, because let me tell you, it is a convoluted way to try to stream on YouTube from a console. Except if you're, on, I think, PS4, I think there's an option there. You can just upload straight.
Yeah, Xbox is a little bit more difficult to upload.
Yeah, because then you gotta put it through this, and then you can that. And then if anything I go on there, I kind of siphon off from there to kind of upload. It's a pain. Yes, that's good. Let's see here. I think, yeah. Oh yeah, that'll be a topic. I've really kind of touched on this topic for a lot of others. When you do your streams, now, do you stream directly to YouTube all the time, or do you multi-stream? I'm just curious.
I usually just stream directly to YouTube. I know a lot of people do Twitch and stuff, and I haven't really gotten to Twitch yet. I've had people recommend it, but I haven't learned the Twitch ways yet. So I've been just sticking to YouTube because, like, I just Because I'm used to the fact of, like, it's there if people miss it. Like, I leave it so people can see what they missed.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's the thing. I recommend looking into Restream, because with Restream, you can stream to Restream, and it puts them out to the different ones. Like when I stream with OBS when I'm doing retro games, it goes to YouTube, goes to Twitch, and goes to Mixer all at the same time.
oh wow.
Yeah, and the only thing is, what it does is there's a thing in OBS where you can add Restream, and you add the stream key for that, and it'll actually takes your stream that you stream out, streams it out there, and then filters it out to 3 other, and doesn't impact your bandwidth. It just goes out, it filters it to them, and then it puts it out to the other 3 that you want to put it out to. You can also do it out to Facebook too if you wanted to, which is interesting. But
that's really cool. Actually, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so that's why a lot of people do a lot of multi-streaming, like especially for myself, is especially if you have those channels set up, it's great because then people can load it up. Like YouTube will keep your stream up. Twitch will keep it up for a certain amount of days. Mixer gets rid of their streams every 2 weeks. They get rid of all your archives off there. So that's why it's built into the Xbox where I have to use Mixer for webcam right now, because in the preview program you're able to use an external webcam for it. You just plug into the USB and it works. So you can have like a webcam for that. And since I got rid of my Kinect, I don't have a thing for Twitch. So, but that's fine. But yeah, I recommend looking into Restream. It will, if you want to do besides YouTube, if you're doing YouTube, that's fine. It's good. But if you ever want to expand out, let me know and I can actually teach you how to. I don't mind.
All right, thank you. Because that is really cool, and like I really like I said, I'm just trying to learn how to go through.
Oh yeah.
All this basically, and.
Oh yeah, that's the thing, and especially with doing YouTube is a learning process, and see a lot of people, especially with the controversy that's come out. Actually, I'm going to ask you about that, with the controversy of monetization and all that. It kind of drowns a lot of small people who are like, is it really worth it? And then there's these whole subtrain things going on, and that's probably going to be one of the last topics we're going to talk about. Then we're going to have a final topic, and then we're going to end it. But all right. So now that we kind of talked about it, what do you think about? Have you heard the news about YouTube and their policies changing?
Oh boy, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people are not happy with that, and it's kind of disappointing when it comes down to it, because it makes things harder for smaller YouTubers, and the bigger ones, it's hurting some of the bigger ones, but it's also the ones that have done bad and they're trying to change it so there is no bad. It's not going to affect them any, really, because people are still going to them because of the bad, and it just. But I don't think smaller YouTubers should give up. I personally can't even believe where I am right now. With the 117 subs. I originally started and I was like, oh yeah, YouTube Live, excited. And then it hit me that it's not all about trying to get big. And I've met so many cool people while you're one of them, and so many people. I've made so many friends, and it's just so fun to me to personally go out there and make someone's day, maybe say hi or anything. That's just my personality. If I can make somebody's day by dying by daylight, or just screaming or laughing, telling jokes and stuff, and just having a good time and playing these games that I love, that's enough for me. I don't really care how big or how many views, or if I'm getting money from it. It's became a hobby thing for me. It's for me to relax. It's a way to escape the world, meet some cool people, play some cool video games, and just entertain. Because I used to be really into drama class and stuff, and I like to perform. So it gives me a place to perform and laugh and enjoy. So I'm not gonna be bitter over it. I'm disappointed because like some hard-working people are now losing what they've done, and I think that sucks because that's really crappy, and it's really making smaller YouTubers, like people that are just starting out, they're like, what's the point? Why should I do this if it's just gonna, like, there's no way. But on that note, when I first started my YouTube channel, I said, there's no way I'm gonna have 10 people. And like before that, it was, there's no way there's gonna be more than 5 people. So you can grow and you don't even expect it, which I think is really cool. Like, don't give up hope is basically what I'm getting at. Like, things will slow down. You might lose subs and stuff like that. You might not reach your goal that you originally planted for yourself, but you will get there. If you keep trying, you keep putting that effort in, and like working hard, eventually that hard work's going to pay off. And it doesn't matter if YouTube is doing like whatever the policy is at that time. I think that if we all stick together and we all work together, then, and like the community and fellow YouTubers that are small stick together, we can make it.
Yeah, that's the main truth that a lot of people really need to hear, because see, a lot of people do try to do YouTube to get big, and that is their aim, and they are trying to make money off it. And I say, hey, good for you. You are trying that. It is making difficult stuff there, but I think the main thing that you need to do, especially with doing YouTube, is if you're doing gaming videos, you are going to experience, because there's a ton of people doing gaming YouTube. They're doing games like that. There are people streaming. There are big names out there like Markiplier and stuff. There are so many content creators out there for that. And there's a lot of competition. And the main thing that you kind of realize is that, yes, you are a YouTuber and you're small, but there are other small YouTubers. And if they support you and you support them, then you can get bigger and you can get better and you can improve yourself. Like, you were trying to improve yourself with your doing your videos and stuff like that. You're trying to improve, and that's good. And that's a positive spin on doing this kind of thing. And if you just focus on the money, you're not going to get there. Like, you got to focus on building those relationships. Like, as a lot of people say, social. You want to be social with the other fellow YouTubers if they check your videos. Like, you check out my videos, and I appreciate that. And really, if one person watches your video and their day changes, their mood changes, and they're happy and they're enjoying it, and they comment on the video, it made their day, a moment that you did, you should feel amazing on that, because you have done something to improve the world. Even if it's the tiniest little speck, you improve somebody's day. And I think that is the beautiful thing. And if you hit over 100 subscribers, that's great, because then you're like, hey, cool. But on another note, that's what kind of another question I want to talk about. Have you seen these sub for sub trains going on right now?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I get offered it all the time. Like, people are like, if you sub to me, I'll sub to you. And I'm just like, oh. I personally don't jump on them usually, because like, I want to support people that are putting content out. Like, it's kind of a double-edged sword for me, because I want to put I want to support those people because they're working hard. A lot of them are. But then there's also people who are just doing it because they want the sub count. They want to say they have 300 or like plus. But like, I want people to be there for the content I'm putting out, not just because I sub to you, kind of stuff. Yeah. And I want people to realize that when I sub to you, I think you're really cool. Like, I like the content you're putting out. I'm not just subbing to you just to get another sub for myself. I actually think you're doing, like, it's like a big thumbs up for me. I'm like, heck yeah, I enjoy this stuff. Like, I love the stuff that, like, you put out and, like, a bunch of other people. It's interesting and it's funny, and, like, I like, cause I'm a YouTube hoe. Like, I'm constantly, like, if I'm not playing video games and I'm not putting out content, I'm usually watching other people play. Like, cause I like watching people play video games and joke around and have, like, just good content overall.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I like, especially like I can't be where I am stuff wise, but see, there's like, it's kind of a hollow thing, especially when you have the subscriber count, which is decent, and then you don't have the people actually watching you. Like I appreciate the sub like respect, and they're saying, hey, I support you. But it's kind of like a double-edged sword where we're saying, I've subbed to you, but I don't want your content. It's just like, yeah, it's like, no, don't like that. But yeah, that's why I'm not participating like that. If you want to like shout me out saying, hey, I like this guy, you want to check him out, cool. I'll be like, yeah, that's great, I like that. If I generally watch your stuff, and I generally like what you do, I will support you in the sense of retweeting or doing that. I'm trying to get more into doing that kind of retweeting and kind of sharing stuff as much as I can, because it puts it out there, because then it puts it in my social network, and then it puts it in your social network. And I really love when people retweet my stuff. I'm like, heck yeah, I love seeing people going, hey, I really enjoy this, you should check it out. I'm like, yeah, that's great. Especially with these interview things I do. Like, I started doing this series on a whim.
I think it's really cool. Like, from what I've seen, like, yeah. Because I didn't go and watch, like, fully, because I didn't want to, like, be stalking, basically, and, like, know what's coming. But I did, like I like looking through and, like, seeing the other people you have interviewed, and I'll probably will go back and watch all of them fully.
Yeah,
because, like, because, like, I like seeing also, because some of those people I know. So it's really cool, like, seeing fellow YouTubers and, like, you talking, and, like, the connections between everybody, like, yeah. And, like, seeing those interviews, and, like, it's so interesting to see, like, people's intakes on why they're doing it, and it's a very creative way, because, like, I have never seen someone do that before. You're the only person, like, I've seen shout-out videos and stuff like that, but, like, it's really cool that you're actually doing interviews and seeing people's point of view, and, like, actually, like, I guess getting questions about the people and getting more personal, because, like, with shoutouts, you're kind of just like, well, this is my opinion on this person, like, that I like their content. But with the interview, you're actually getting kind of behind the scenes, and you're getting information about, like, what steps they went through, like, a little bit about the person in general, and I just think that's really cool.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing is, like, everybody who gets, like, interviewed by me tells me right at the end that they really enjoyed the experience, and that's humble for me, because it's like I put I'm not the person that's supposed to be in the limelight here. I'm making sure that the person I'm interviewing is in the limelight, because I want to showcase you. I want to showcase what you're all about, and kind of getting a background to your thoughts about certain series and why you do it this way and why you do thumbnails. And if you're saying that you're improving yourself, that's great, because that's a positive spin on things. And that's why I love doing this kind of series, is because it kind of carries away that layer of fame that a lot of people have, and it kind of gets down to the nitty gritty. Like, he's like, hey, you don't like certain, like, games like this, or you talked about jump scares and how they still do like that, and it's like that. And it kind of gives you a book about the person, and like that you may not know about something like that. Like, you met this person, like, you started watching their stuff, and you may not know that, hey, when they were younger, they loved these system here, or they did this here. And these interviews kind of dive into that, where you're like, you get this thing and you kind of relate more to the YouTuber interview. And so you're like, hey, I didn't know that they liked that. That's kind of cool. Or, oh, I didn't know that they did that. That's kind of cool. And they can find out about different softwares, different tips and tricks that they can do, and it improves them. And that's kind of a thing. I can't really talk about this right now, but I'm going to kind of throw a little hint out there that anybody who watched this one, coming later on this year, there is going to be a series that is going to involve Interview with a Gamer coming out later on. I can't tell you any details about it, but I say that I will be talking to everybody that I've interviewed so far again. So you're going to hear from me again when we do this. It's because I have another series I'm going to be doing which it ties into this. So stay tuned for that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I kind of just talked to them about it. I was like, yeah, I'll do it. So kind of, I'm not going to spoil anything, but look on later on the channel. You'll see stuff coming up, which is great. Okay, so we kind of dived into that. I think one of the final questions that I'm going to talk about right now is one that I think you're going to really appreciate, because I like to ask at the end of every video I've done, if someone was starting out on YouTube, doing a gaming channel right now, what advice would you give them?
My advice would be probably don't give up. If you're a girl, don't listen to half the chats that is said to you that's really dirty, because it happens. It will happen again. If you're a guy and you get that, same to you, because for some reason people like to talk dirty in chats when you're doing stuff like that. But also enjoy your time and just enjoy it. Like, don't stress about how many people are viewing. Like, everything is a surprise and it's a joy. Like, don't stress about who's bigger than you. It doesn't really matter if they're bigger, as long as you're enjoying the content that you're putting out and you're having a fun time. Because, like, if you're having a fun time, more than likely the people watching you are going to have a good time too. And, like, that's one of my rules of going through. And also, if you're not having a fun time with a certain video game, do not play it. Like, because, like, a lot of people, and I've seen bigger YouTubers do it too, they'll play a game because it's popular, and everyone's like, oh, you gotta play this popular game, blah blah blah, it'll get your YouTube channel big. But if you're not fully into it, they're gonna know it, and they're gonna see that you're not happy with it, and they're not gonna have as great of a time with it. They might like it, but they're gonna notice the attitude change. And it just, basically, overall, just have a good time. Don't worry about the policies and how many sub counts. If you're making money, you just gotta go in there, and I'm sure you'll meet cool people along the way. There's a lot of cool YouTubers that will willingly chat with you, teach you some lessons, and that's about it on my tips and tricks.
Well, see, that's the thing, is everybody has a different way of answering that question, because if you're going to be doing this for a certain thing, like, people have their own different attitudes, and especially I agree with playing a game. Like, people are going to notice when you're not having a good time playing a game, when you're forcing yourself through it. It's always best to have fun. Number one thing is to have fun, because if you're not having having fun doing it, I find that it adds a layer of stress on yourself, because you're trying to be entertaining for something that you're not enjoying, and it really, really dumbs down the experience for you, and people will see that. And so, especially with stuff like that, that's why when I do polls about games I'm going to stream and stuff like that, I put down the ones that I want to play. So I'm like, yeah, I might play that. And then people are interested, like, oh yeah, play that. I'm like, oh yeah, sure, I'll do it. And so it kind of adds that kind of, context to it, where you're like, wait, it's like I really enjoy this game. People enjoy me playing it. It's great. But yes,
yeah.
that is a good. Mm-hmm.
I went through that where I actually didn't have fun, and like I actually dreaded uploading because it was taking so much of my time. Like, that's when I went through the drop of uploads, because like I wasn't having a good time, and like I actually dreaded playing a video game because I was like, oh boy, gotta upload a game. And it was kind of like it's forced. And if you're doing that, it's just, overall, people are going to notice. And it ruins your time as well. Like, it makes it a struggle to actually continue. Personally, it was like, and then I got on the right foot. I stopped worrying about all that stuff. And I'm having a great time now.
Yeah, that's the main thing. That is the main thing to do. Okay. Well, alright, so I think that I'm going to take the time to say that we're going to end the interview here. I want to thank you again for sitting down with me.
Thank you for having me. I had a lot of fun.
Oh, that's good to hear. Very good. All right, so that is the end of Interview with the Gamer with Baetacus. Please check out her YouTube channel, and you can also bug her on Twitter. Is that correct?
Yep. That's the best way, like YouTube and Twitter, because like I had an Instagram, but I forgot it.
You forgot it. It's all good.
Yeah, I forget to get on Instagram and stuff. It's easier to contact me through that, like YouTube and Twitter.
No, that's
And
good.
the Discord too. I also have a Discord that'll be easy to contact me.
Oh, that's good. That's very good. But anyway, I'm going to say the thing that I say at the end of all of my videos, and this Canadian here is rooting for your bacon. See you later, guys.